A couple of days after trading for De'Aaron Fox, and last night they just played a really good game against Atlanta, they make another move or acquire another player, I guess I could say, in Patrick Baldwin Jr., who is, in my eyes, very, very intriguing. I would not be making this video if I didn't think this dude had potential to develop into something nice. The first thing that you're going to notice about Patrick Baldwin is he is 6'9". He is a wing in a big man's body who can shoot the three very, very well. Now, this season with the Wizards, he was shooting 52% from three in a very small sample size, so don't take that literally. He's a good shooter, not that good of a shooter, right? But he can hit them. So on this play specifically, we're going to see a little bit of a high pick and roll here. We're going to get this guy driving into the lane, and we're going to create a little bit of strong side and weak side rotation from this defense. Now, whenever you're able to get a little bit of leverage inside the paint, guys are going to collapse, right? You see guys collapsing here, guys collapsing here, but they leave Patrick Baldwin open. You don't want to do that. I know he's 6'9", 6'10". You do not want to leave this guy open for three because, like I said, he can hit him. Right, so in this video, what I wanted to do specifically was break down his film, right? When you look at what the Spurs are going to want to do, they're going to want to run a lot of two-man game with De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama, and they're going to want to have guys in the corners that can shoot the ball. Think about Devin Vassell, think about Patrick Baldwin, think about Keldon Johnson, right? These guys are going to need to be able to hit threes because there's going to be a lot of rotation off De'Aaron Fox and a ton of rotation off of Victor Wembanyama, right? So we'll get this screen, we're going to, right, bring in that weak side rotation off the lob threat or the cutter, the roller, and now they're going to leave again. Patrick Baldwin wide open for three. This is what the Spurs are going to want to kind of bring over here to their lineup. If he plays a lot, I think he's a guy that could do this. Sit in the corners and let De'Aaron and Victor really set the momentum of the offense and get guys open. Now, again, we're going to break down a ton of film. Before we dive in, give me a letter grade on this trade or the addition of Patrick Baldwin Jr. Let's dive into some film, man. I'm excited. All right, here we go again. Another example. Don't leave this guy open, right? So again, we talked about it earlier. Whenever you can get leverage into the lane, you got to watch for one or two things as the ball handler. Either strong side rotation, a blitz from the top, or even weak side rotation from the opposite corner. Now again, Patrick Baldwin sitting in that corner. This is all we need him to do. Sit in the corner, play defense. You're going to get open looks, right? So we drive, we get leverage on a mismatch, and you see the rotation here from that weak side corner. You're going to get it every single time. That's just what NBA defenses like to do. And then Gill ends up finding him open. You get a late closeout here by Alvarado, but he's so big, it doesn't matter. That closeout does not affect him at all. At 6'9", 22 years old, the Warriors drafted him a couple years ago. They liked what he brought. They liked what he added to the team. Ultimately has not been amazing throughout his career, but the potential has always been there. Whenever you have a guy that's 6'9", you know the potential's there. Now, let's talk about him as a potential roller off the pick and roll, off the high pick and roll. So right here, all we're going to get is a screen and roll to the basket. Now, usually when you get that screen, the big is going to hedge over, rotate over, and kind of commit or initiate a little bit of a double team. That's kind of what you see here. Great bounce pass, and then Baldwin, again, nice crafty finish at the basket. I'm telling you, man, I really like this addition for the Spurs. All right, here we go again. We get a little bit of a driver to the basket. You're going to see Patrick Baldwin sitting in that dunker spot because he's so big, because he got a good vertical. He's going to be able to sit in this dunker spot. Think about guys like Drew Holiday for the Celtics, right? Sitting in that dunker spot, getting these guys to overcommit to the drive, and then leaving this guy wide open, right? So drives, draws in this rotation from Garrison Matthews, and then leaves that back door, that dunker spot wide open. Great dump down, and again, great finish at the basket for Patrick Baldwin. Actually initiates a little bit of an and one at the same time. Again, you can put this guy anywhere. Put him in the corner, put him in the dunker spot. He's tall enough to finish around the basket, and he's good enough to finish at the three-point line. Again, I'm very excited to see what he can do. Now, before we get any further into some more film breakdown here for Patrick Baldwin, do me a favor, hit that like button if you want more San Antonio Spurs breakdowns. I did just post a breakdown of the De'Aaron Fox debut. I think that duo with Victor Wembanyama is going to be unbelievable. So if you want to check that out, you can. But more importantly, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you're new. It is free. It doesn't cost anything. And we will be breaking down Spurs film for the entirety of the season. Offense, defense, individual player breakdown for almost every single game. We got you guys covered. So make sure you guys join the family. With that being said, let's kind of dive into a little bit more film here of Patrick Baldwin. So once again, we're going to get him just initiated at that 3-point line. We're going to get a pick and pop off ball, right? Roll out to this 3-point line. See if we can get this big to overcommit. Get this guy to try to hedge over that screen. And again, leave Patrick Baldwin open. I love his pick and pop game because, again, if you give him any space at all, he's going to be able to knock these shots down. Now, one point that I do want to get across to you guys is I don't think he's going to come in here and be a day one starter. I don't think he's going to come in here and get 25 minutes per game. But what I think he's going to add is real versatility off the bench, a new dynamic of a 3-point shooter who's lengthy, can play solid defense, can switch 1 through 4, 1 through 5 even. This guy just brings a dynamic to the team. So don't get it twisted like I'm saying he's going to be a great player, Hall of Fame. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he's going to fit this system very, very well. Look at this one. Once again, same type of format. We're going to set the screen, try to get this big to overcommit to the corner ball here, try to get that guy to overcommit to fighting over the screen. We're going to leak out to that 3-point line. So instead of the pick and roll, the pick and pop, and the quick trigger, don't think about it. Put it up, get it to go. Nice job there by Patrick Baldwin. And I love watching this dude's game because although he didn't get too much playing time, I believe this season only played about 4.6 minutes per night. If you go back to 2023, played a little bit more, about 13 minutes a night. But this dude has some real potential that, you know, the Spurs can sit back and look at. They really can. And I think that's what makes me probably the most excited about his game. Another little DHO, Denny. Look at Patrick Baldwin just leaking wide open here at the top. Again, you don't want to give this guy this much of separation. Puts it up, gets it to go. And another thing about him is he doesn't take dumb shots. If he's not open, he's not going to shoot the ball, right? He's not going to force up, jack up shots. If he's open, that's when he's going to shoot them. So he's not someone like who's going to force too many shots up for your team. He's going to play smart. He's going to have that high IQ type of basketball mindset, which is really good to have. Drive, draw a little bit of rotation. Once again on the Spurs, pull up 3, gets it to go. I feel like at that point, or at this point, we could pretty much end the video here. There's not much more to say. This guy's going to bring some versatility. He's not going to be a full-time starter. He's not going to be a guy that plays more than 25 minutes a night. He might not even play more than 8 minutes a night. Who knows, right? He's got to fit into the system. He's got to build chemistry with his teammates, and he's got to build rapport, right? So, we'll see what happens going forward, but as terms of a player going to a team, I think this makes a lot of sense for the Spurs and off that 2-man game with De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama. So hit the like button, subscribe, join the family, turn on post notifications. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next update. Peace.